Two more questions. Bob Duckhart asks, in later years, Letterman was not afraid to call out guests to their face for their behavior, such as Bill O'Reilly, Trump, and Dr. Phil. Could Letterman have felt his show served a higher purpose and did not get the same satisfaction with only getting laughs?
Well, I do think he did take his interviews way more seriously, but he was rough on guests early. If it wasn't working, I mean, he would do things to them that left them in tears. Jane Seymour was an actress, and I don't remember the specific thing that happened, but boy, she felt wrecked after an appearance with Letterman.
How about when Jane Seymour came on? Remember that time? Jane Seymour is the paragon of gracious living, and she's going to show you her book of old country homes and how you prepare a nice breakfast when you live in a castle that costs $13 million. And you weren't up for that, and she wasn't able to return service either.
Well, that was, I think, our mistake, because that's the kind of thing, although unspoken, there's no real policy about it, we sort of would like to get away from. That's fine. She's a wonderful woman, a very nice lady, and if she wants to write a book and show you photos of how glamorous her life is, that's just great. You know, more power to her. But I just, I don't know. I'm not fascinated by ways that she makes her life more glamorous. I don't really care. I hope the book was a huge success, but so from that standpoint, I think it was probably, again, our mistake for having her on.
Here he is, folks. Hello to our good friend, Mr. Paul Schaefer. Oh, those things. Seem to be able to know how to get through there.
We're all
exactly.
right underneath the camera.
Yeah. How you doing, Paul?
Doing just fine. You know, night after night, people always ask us, and I wonder myself, do we have as much fun as it looks like we have?
And what is the answer?
I was asking you. Do we have as much fun?
No, this is the most fun we have all day, don't you think?
Yeah, certainly.
You know what concerns me, though, Paul? We're 2 weeks away from the holiday season, and you and I really haven't had a chance to talk about how things are going. So let's just take a second here and visit for a minute.
Okay, great.
How are things going?
Fine with me. How are things with you?
Pretty good.
Great, okay.
All right, get that out of the way. What else are we doing? Do what? Top 10 list. Oh, this is a good category tonight from the Home Office. That, by the way, is the very definition of a smattering of applause. That little... Don't we have music that goes with this one? Okay, that's it. This, by the way, is in lieu of actual show material. This oh, tonight, we have Jane Seymour on, who has written this wonderful book entitled Jane Seymour's Guide to Romantic Living. Is that it? Do we have a copy of it here? I'm sure we must. We couldn't really do the show without a copy of it right here. So, oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Don't seem to think we don't have the book. Oh, here it is right here. Thank you very much, Barbara Gaines. Here it is right here. Jane Seymour, a lovely woman, and she's written this book, Guide to Romantic Living. See? There you go. So she'll be out later to talk about that. Now, that brings me to introduction of tonight's category. Tonight's category is Bob Rooney's Top 10 Rules for Romantic Living. There's Bob over there, one of our studio technicians. Hi, Bob. So...
Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Bob Rooney, one of our studio technicians, also has his own rules for romantic living.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I'd love to hear those.
Try to get some exercise during the day, Paul. You're a little wound up. Here we go. Bob Rooney's Top 10 Rules for Romantic Living. Number 10, never tease a dog when he's eating. Number 9, when in doubt, wear socks. Number 8, wine plus beer, never fear. Beer plus wine, also fine. Prestone and gin, think again. Number 7, when getting a tattoo, make sure the girl gave you her real name. Number 6, keep a T-shirt in the car so you can get into a 7-Eleven. Number 5, first anniversary paper, 5th anniversary police scanner. I didn't realize that. Number 4, make sure your date's done with her beer before you use it as an ashtray. Number 3, start working on 60-minute segment 5 minutes before airtime. Oh, I'm sorry, that's one of Andy Rooney's rules. My mistake. Okay, I'll take that out of there. Number 2. Number 2, a man never stands so tall as when he sits down to do some show-off driving. And number 1, check mustache after eating Cheetos. Oh, thank you. Our next guest is an actress who is known as the Queen of the Miniseries. She has starred in East of Eden, Crossings, Captains and the Kings, 7th Avenue, and on and on. She is also the author of this book right here. We saw this earlier in the program. It's Jane Seymour's Guide to Romantic Living. Folks, please welcome the ever-romantic Jane Seymour.
How are you? Nice to see you. You have to go around this way. That's all right.
Yeah, it is. You look terrific.
Thank you.
You look great. Thank you very much for being on the show. I didn't realize your hair was that long, but it's quite.
I just had a haircut.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
How much did they take off?
I took about that much off.
Yeah. Well, it certainly looks nice.
Oh, thanks
and those
a
are
lot.
great earrings.
Thank you.
Or like chandeliers.
Yeah, it's in case you didn't have any lights tonight. I thought I'd bring my own.
Yeah, very thoughtful of you. Let's talk about the book. Is there anything in this book, Jane?
That you need?
No, that has anything to do with lifting weight with your teeth? Is there anything?
No, but do you need romance?
Oh yeah, I'm always looking for romance.
You are?
Yeah. Why did you write this book?
Because I like romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, define that for us.
Romance?
No, book. Of course, define romance.
Okay, romance. Well, the point about romance and what things that are romantic is that they're indefinable. They're things that happen. They create great memories, and they're things you live with for the rest of your life.
Now, do you practice what is in this book?
Sure I do. I mean, it's full of my mistakes in there. All kinds of... I've been married 3 times. I mean, there's a lot of romance in there.
So you're now applying more romance to this marriage than you did the first 2? Is that what you're telling us?
No. I've been living romantically since I was born, and my parents were... still continue to live...
The original romantics is what
They
you
were the
say,
original
yeah.
romantics,
Yeah.
and as much as anything, I wrote this book so that my mother would have something to give people for Christmas this year.
Yeah.
To my great shock, other people wanted it.
Now, what's in the book? What are we talking about here? What is somebody going to learn about you and about being romantic when they buy the book, which is about 20 bucks?
They'll learn a bit about... It's going up next year.
Are you selling a lot of these books?
It's in its 3rd printing, so and the next printing it's going to be $22.50. So
is that right?
Yes, if you want a bargain, you buy it before it runs out.
You know the old joke, don't you? It's in its 3rd printing. The first 2 were smeared.
Ooh.
So the book is doing quite well for you.
The book is doing quite well.
All right, let's get right to it. When we say Guide to Romantic Living, what are we talking about?
It's how to bring romance back into your life.
All right, give us some examples of how that happens, how you can make it happen.
Well, for example, I kidnapped my husband. It was pretty dramatic.
Yeah? What were the circumstances?
The circumstances, it was our 2nd wedding anniversary. He'd already surprised me by giving me a beautiful diamond pendant in a bottom of champagne glass about 3 days before our anniversary, when I least expected it. I was about to drink it, and suddenly there was, this foreign object in the bottom.
Yeah.
I was naturally thrilled, and I had to think of something to top this with. So I arranged with his office that I could take him away from his work for 3 days, and I organized a holiday to Mexico. And on a Monday morning, all dressed up in his 3-piece suit, ready to go to work, I told him he wasn't allowed to leave the house till 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, a car came. I shoved him in the back and took him off to a place I wouldn't tell him where it was.
Right.
He was allowed 1 phone call back to his work to make sure everything was okay. And we ended up in Cabo San Lucas, he in a 3-piece wool suit, which was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, the point is that it was a surprise element. It was the fact that this is a man who's always in control of his life, and I took the control away, and he loved it.
Did you pistol whip him or anything?
No, I didn't do anything like that, but you know what happened? We got there, and I thought I'd arranged the most beautiful, wonderful room in this hotel, and we found these lovely little cabanas on the beach right by the water's edge, and we thought, well, whatever the cost is, we'll go down there.
Money's no object.
Money's no object, and the hotel manager told us that would be half the price, so we thought, these people are really crazy in Mexico. They don't know a good thing when they see it. Well, the next morning, we're notoriously untidy people, it was a night of great romance. we woke up to find everything floating in 7 inches of water.
Oh, yeah. Tide came in and
Tide came in and washed it all away.
But see, now, Jane, it's easy to be romantic when you can afford to go to Cabo San Lucas for a 3-day weekend, and you can afford a car, and you're drinking champagne, and there's a $40,000 gem in the...
Right, well, you see...
But what about average folks? You know?
Absolutely, that's why I wrote the book. It's all about things you can do for nothing.
Yeah, okay, we'll do a commercial, and then you give us an example of one of those romantic things, and we'll just see how that stacks up with the weekend in Cabo San Lucas. You're also in the holiday anniversary issue of Playboy magazine.
No, that's a shock, isn't it?
Well, these are pretty nice. No.
Yeah?
What are you doing there exactly?
I'm climbing over the walls of my house. You know, this is a funny story.
These are pretty provocative photos. And you're fully clothed for the most part.
Yeah, I'm the first woman ever to be clothed in Playboy.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what happened. 15 years ago, when I was a young thing and I was doing a Bond film, they said to me, would I do Playboy? They offered me sums of money and everything. And I said, I don't believe in being nude. I just don't, you know, I have no problems with it, but I just don't think it's very sexy. So 15 years later, I'm not there. Okay, to hell with the story.
15 years later, you're back in Playboy fully clothed.
No, I wasn't in Playboy. 15 years later, I had 2 kids, and I thought, no, they said, do it your way. Maybe you have a point.
Well, you're a fabulous babe.
So anyway. What?
Okay. All right. Now tell us something that would be inexpensive, that would be a good way to bring romance into our
You can do the same thing. You just don't have to go to Mexico. You can go to, Roosevelt Island, right? Take a picnic and watch the Manhattan skyline. Apparently there's a beautiful park there. There's always wonderful places.
Now, do you do this kind of stuff every day? Aren't you just driving your husband crazy?
No, thank you. I probably drive him crazy, but not by doing these things every day. Why just not to do everything every day? You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. A lot of people used to do really fun stuff when they first met, and then they completely forget about doing it later on in their lives. And all they do is bitch and moan about the problems and the mortgage and the rest of it. And they always have their TV dinners in front of the TV. And I'm just suggesting, why not take it outside for a change, or have a picnic in the park, or whatever. Well, listen, I realize this book is over your head.
No, it's not.
It is. Playboy.
No, it's not.
I think you were more amused with the one with the blue cover.
No, it's not. It's not over my head. I was just, interested as to how your husband might react to some of these little, being kidnapped, for example, and going off to Mexico.
He reacted very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still married.
Yeah, well, that's good. But you would suggest that this is the kind of thing you do on a regular basis?
No.
Not the kidnapping, but these other
None
little
of
things.
these things. The whole point, if there's any regularity, then you've missed the point completely. It's about an attitude to life. It's about surprise element. It's about having fun. And you should not do this every single day of your life because it'd be boring.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Good. I'm glad you put those in the book for us. We'll be right back. It's Jane Seymour's Guide to Romantic Living, or you can buy my new book, Dave Letterman's Guide to Living Like a Shop Teacher. So, folks, we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you very much. Jane, thank you for being here.
Oh, what's the name of that? Is that Night Train?
Night Train.
Nice to hear it.
Night Train.
Sounds great. Thank you for everything.
Brown's arrangement of that.
Huh? Do what?
James Brown's arrangement.
Yeah, sounds great. And what are you guys going to do later? Can you tell us now?
We're going to do an Albert Collins tune.
An original?
I don't know if it's an original. Who wrote it? A Good Fool is Hard to Find is the name of it.
All right. We'll look forward to that later in the show.
It's a traditional kind of a thing. Public domain kind of a thing.
Our first guest tonight...
I may write it. I like it so much I may write it.
Our first guest tonight is one... Excuse me for doing this. I don't know what it is. I guess it's... I shouldn't be... I can't help it. I need a good lotion, some kind of multi-purpose lotion. I'm all dried out from the winter. Our first guest tonight is, believe me, she is one fabulous babe who likes to be treated like one fabulous babe, and that's why she's written this book. Here it is right here. It's Jane Seymour's Guide to Romantic Living. Please say hello to Jane Seymour.
married?
We had a little party out here earlier,
is
trying to
pathetic.
infuse the atmosphere with a synthetic impression that things were happening.
Oh, I see.
It didn't work.
So you didn't get married?
No, I have not married. No.
You're not married?
I've been married. I was married once.
You were married
Yeah,
once.
a long time
And then you
ago.
read the book and you decided you didn't
Now,
want
you
to
know,
get
I
married.
actually haven't read the book either.
I didn't think you had. Well, we established last time that the
When
book
was the last
over
time
your
you were
head.
on?
When you told me that you couldn't understand the concept of
The
the
book was over my head.
Yeah, it was over your head. That's where we last left
When
off.
was the last time you were here, by the way?
When the book was pushing me on stage to talk to you.
When was
When
that,
was that?
Jane?
Well,
When was
Before
that?
Christmas sometime. I don't know.
Well, like 6 months ago?
Oh, no.
4 months ago?
No, 2 months ago.
All right.
3 months ago.
And now you're back.
Yeah.
All right, let's just settle
Why?
down now. Let's just...
Why am I back?
Well, I was just wanting to know what you had done in the meantime. How things had been going for you. What you'd been up to.
Oh, I see. Very well, thank you.
So,
What have I done? Well, I had Christmas.
Yeah, that must have been nice. In
that
England,
was
I
nice.
guess?
That was in England. And then I came back and I got myself some more employment. I'm going to make a movie.
Oh, yeah. What kind of movie?
It's always useful to do. It's an art movie. It's sort of about obsessional love. And
An
it's-
art movie, you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not something that's going to be on TV. It's going to be in the movie
Theatrical
theaters,
release?
and you'll be lucky if you see it because it's Argentinian and Spanish and
Where's it going to be made?
in Argentina
In
and
Argentina?
Spain.
Yeah. Well, that'd be exciting.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the book now, I guess. We'll talk
Oh,
about
you
the
don't
book?
have to talk about the book. Why would you want to talk about a book you haven't read?
Well, that's true. Well, because you're on and it's Valentine's Day here.
And people are buying it, right?
Is the thing really selling?
Well, it's in its third printing and
Because the first two were
55,000
smeared.
copies.
That's why. It's an old joke, I'm sorry. Third printing, 55, how many copies?
I think 55,000. I think
Per
they
printing?
sold. No, they sold about 40,000.
Oh,
I don't know.
at 20 bucks a pop, so that's not bad, I guess, huh?
I don't know. I haven't seen the money.
Really?
Did you see the money?
Well, no, but I don't have anything to do with the book.
No.
All right, so
Well,
now-
it's Valentine's Day, you know.
Jane Seymour's Guide to Romantic Living. Now, what was the most recent romantic thing you did?
Come here again.
No, seriously. What was
Most romantic thing that I did recently?
Because that's what you advocate here in the book.
Yeah.
Always put romance in your life at all costs, even if it's the simplest little gesture. So what was the last thing you did?
I think I cooked dinner.
Cook dinner. Well, now see, that's not really romantic.
That's pretty romantic.
Really?
For me. I haven't cooked dinner for a long time. Yeah, but
What
I've
did-
been
what did
told
you
not
have?
to, it burnt. Yeah.
What-
I'm not doing anything romantic like that again.
What was it?
It was Chinese.
Yeah.
It had chicken and sort of bits of orange peel and things, and they said it had to be charred. Well, it charred.
Yeah. So that would be here in the book an idea.
That would be
Cook
added
a
in
dinner.
there. Cook a dinner, yes.
So for 20 bucks, people can get valuable tips like that.
Like that, yes.
Now, who is this book for exactly? It's not for men, is it?
Yes, it is.
Is it for men?
Actually, men have been buying the book. It's got lots of tips and stuff. It's really a case of whether you want to have some kind of spontaneity and take some risks in life. And
Like, give me an example of a risk one might take after having read the book.
You might kidnap your husband or your wife and take her away or him away when he least expects it to.
That's a felony, and you're going to do time. And also, if you kidnap your husband or your wife, to whom do you send the ransom note? See, there's nobody there.
This is true. Well, I guess it's useless to you, this book.
Oh, thanks.
Has anything romantic happened in your life since I last
A lot
saw
of
you?
stuff.
A lot
I
of
just,
stuff?
yeah,
what
every
have you
day.
done that was romantic?
Oh, geez.
Give us a tip for Valentine's Day.
2 days ago, I checked into a windowless hotel room.
You did?
Yeah, sat at the edge of the bed and stared at the floor for about 8 hours, and then I checked out. Yeah.
So what are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Nothing. I don't observe Valentine's Day per se as a holiday.
Does it observe you?
No, it's like one of those. It's like Halloween. Valentine's Day and Halloween, they're not. I don't see that they're worth the effort to really participate.
Really? You
No.
know, they have a thing in England. I mean, I never understood why it is in America that people sign their Valentines, love from, it takes all the mystery out of it. The original Valentines were a sort of dedication of true love to someone that were anonymous. So you can imagine how much fun that is in England. You get 2 or 3 of these and you don't know who they're from, and if you're married, that's serious problems.
Yeah, but that's kind of like a John Hinckley sort of deal. That I don't know, Jane. I don't know. Let's do a commercial.
It's a dull show.
Oh, thank you very much. No point in calling attention to the obvious, though, is there? Well, we'll pause here, and we'll be right back with Jane Seymour. Maybe. show. Jane Seymour is here. Frida Kaplan is here. You know who Frida Kaplan is?
I just met her.
She has all of these wonderful, strange, and exotic fruits that people are now beginning to enjoy, and we're going to look at them later.
That's good.
It'd be fun, don't you
It
think?
would be fun.
You like vegetables and fruit?
I love vegetables and fruit.
Well, when you go out to dinner, what would you order? Are you going out tonight, probably, for dinner, right? After the show?
No. I have more work to do tonight.
What are you doing tonight?
David Brenner. Am I allowed to tell you that? Then I fly to Chicago to do Oprah Winfrey. So, yeah.
So we were lucky to get you. Because it's not like she's doing everything, you see.
No. You're very selective.
Okay, well, tell me about this picture. I've just at random opened up a page in the book here. A photograph here. This is from Jane Seymour's Guide to Romantic Living, and who's that there? Who are in the picture at the top?
This is a party we have at New Year's Eve. It's called Black Tie or Better, and the idea is it's just a silly costume party. We all get dressed up in crazy stuff we find in antique shops and sling silly medals and things on.
Who's the gentleman seated in the center?
This is my husband.
And he's so you're
I don't
dressed
know where
as...
he's been to the junk shop, and this is some of the junk he found, and that's what he's wearing that night. Yeah.
And now, what about people who maybe aren't motion picture stars and who aren't, you know, average workaday, blue-collar, solid American citizens like myself and my studio audience?
The whole point of the book is not what people can do if they're movie stars. It's what people who, you know, as regular folk can do. And it's stuff that I did ever since I was a kid. It's about bringing up kids romantically, about having that kind of an attitude to life, about being vulnerable and open to surprise, change, some sort of a risk.
Yeah.
And it's to do with things like the way you give gifts.
Gifts.
Yeah.
And I know you give nice gifts,
Well,
don't
I
you?
don't know whether they're that nice or not, but there are ways of giving gifts.
Like how?
Well, my husband gave me a gift at Christmas once. So having gone through all the Christmas gifts and things, he gave me a great big trash bag, and he said that he'd gone and lost all the instructions to all the gifts I'd given him, and I'd already told him, you know, very stupidly that he shouldn't lose these things, and he hands me the bag, and I sort of start looking through, and I'm real mad, and then I toss the thing upside down, and at the bottom of it was a very nice coat.
Huh.
Right. That was a surprise.
Yeah.
And what else did he do? Gave me a diamond in the bottom of a champagne glass once. I mean, the point is that it's not like
the coat was like a $40,000 ermine thing, right? And the now what if it had been like a free windbreaker he'd gotten somewhere?
I would have loved it. I really would. Listen, it's pointless.
What if it had been like oven mitts or something?
Oven mitts would have been very handy for my charred chicken.
Okay, now let's talk about Valentine's Day. That's how we were all tying it in here. It's kind of a concept. You're here, romance, Valentine's Day. It's going to work fine. What can somebody do for a Valentine's Day?
That costs nothing?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I think the whole point of Valentine's Day is to tell somebody what you really feel about them. So you maybe write down on a piece of paper how you feel about them. If they're nice things, that's nicer.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but that's the kind of thing you can do that every day.
No, you can't. Maybe people don't. It doesn't occur to them to do that. They'll go around to a shop and they'll sift through 100 cards looking for the one that says exactly what they mean to say.
They could have written that anyway.
Well, they could have written it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just suggesting that maybe they should write it anyway, or find some old snapshots, you know, from the year, from pictures they've taken, and sort of make a collage of them. So there's a nice picture that represents what happened that year in their lives together. Or
but you don't do that kind of stuff.
Sure, I do that kind of stuff.
Do you really?
No, every single day, David. You know. Not every single day, like maybe once in a while.
But you have people to do that for you, don't you?
Of course not.
Don't you have like a staff of
kids?
People from somewhere who come in and run things for you?
No, I'm afraid not.
You must have footmen and houseboys and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I forgot about the footmen and the houseboys.
Well, you do have because there's a picture of you there with the footman in there.
With the footman and the house. No, this is the girl that looks after my house, feeds the dogs, cats, looks after the horses, and helps me when I have to drop the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say she's a footman.
No, but that's my point. It's easy to be romantic when you have a staff. You know, I could be.
Staff?
Yeah. If I had people.
You don't have a staff. Give me a break.
No, at the house. No, I'm talking.
House,
no, I do it all. You know, I clean out the gutters. I don't have any children.
No. Well, you see, when you have kids and you go to work, I mean, anyone out there will tell you that it's very hard to do both at the same time. So you sometimes have to delegate. Sometimes you have to have someone help you out. Right.
You know, would it be a good gift for me this Valentine's Day?
What do you want?
I need a new staple gun, seriously. Putting up some insulation there in the family room. Oh, Jane, give my best to David Brenner and Oprah.
Okay, and make sure...
We'll be right back, folks. Yeah. Monday on this program, Jack Elam will be here, Marilu Henner, and Iggy Pop. What do you think, Paul? Was she steamed? Jane, you think?
Jane?
Yeah.
Well, she's a very, very romantic lady.
I know, but you think
That's
she was
all I
steamed?
know about her.
Okay, Albert Collins, boy, you sound great. Nice to meet you, sir. Thank you very much for coming. Come back anytime. We really got a kick out of that. My thanks to everybody who was here tonight. Jane Seymour, of course, and Frida Kaplan. And if you'd like to see more of Jane, she'll be on the David Brenner Show shortly, followed by an appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and then perhaps wherever there's a television camera, look for Jane. We'll see you folks Monday. It's always a pleasure to welcome our next guest to this program. This woman is a talented actress. She was one of the stars of the television show Taxi and has most recently been in such motion pictures as Perfect, Johnny Dangerously, and The Man Who Loved Women. She is now appearing here on Broadway in the show Social Security. Please welcome actress Marilu Henner. Great, nice to see you.
I've been so excited just because I wanted to wear this dress on your show.
It's nice. It has a metallic feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got. You know what it's like? It's like those little. Remember those little candies on a piece of paper that you used to bite off? Well, that's what this is like.
But do you know what the material is? Because there's some metal content.
I don't know. You want to look at the label?
Well,
no, I don't know. Come on, David, unzip me.
And I'd be a fool to pass that up, wouldn't I?
I know you got mad because I didn't shake your hand before, but I didn't know
not
that
only
you were
did you,
coming.
No,
but I didn't know. I didn't see that that's what you were doing.
You turned on your heel and you stormed out of the studio.
It's because I couldn't wait to get dressed.
That's the thing that actresses do. They turn on their heel and they storm out.
I'm not Jane Seymour, remember?
Are the Shriners ready again, Hal? I've lost the will to live. Everything's moist. Look, it's all moist. I'm serious. I'm so terribly damp. I don't know. Letter number 3. Dear Dave, on the night of February 12th, Jane Seymour was a guest on your show. Oh, and a night to remember, wasn't it, Paul? At the end of her part, when you shook her hand, she subtly wiped her hand off on her dress. Do you have sweaty palms or what? Chuck Nassauer, Corrington, Louisiana. Well, you know, Chuck, I don't think my hands are actually sweatier than anybody else's, but I don't really remember the show that you're talking about. Hal, do us a favor, refresh our memory and run a little bit of that night Jane Seymour was on. Hal, can you put it there on the machine and let it go, and we'll take a look at it. Oh, there it is. What can somebody do for Valentine's Day?
That costs nothing?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I think the whole point of Valentine's Day is to tell somebody what you really feel about them. So you maybe write down on a piece of paper how you feel about them. If they're nice things, that's nicer.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but that's the kind of thing you can do that every day.
No, you can't. Maybe people don't. It doesn't occur to them to do that. Find some old snapshots, you know, from the year, pictures they've taken, and sort of make a collage of them. So there's a nice picture. It represents what happened that year in their lives together.
Oh, Jane, give my best to David Brenner and Oprah.
Okay, and make sure.
We'll be right back, folks. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The Palace of Fine Arts. That's where we're doing the big show. Our next guest is not a doctor, but of course she plays one on TV. I bet she's sick of that joke. Of course, she is the star of the very, very, very popular Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and can be seen right here on the CBS television network. Ladies and gentlemen, please do me a favor. Welcome Dr. Quinn, her own self, the lovely Jane Seymour. Jane! You look good, you smell great.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the old program. Been a long time since we've seen you. And you know, I don't remember you as being this petite. You're a tiny young thing.
Well, I had twins.
You had twins as well. Now, that's really very, very impressive. How old are the twins?
The twins are 5 months old, so you've got to have babies.
So you have 2 boys. What, is that some kind of an insult? You trying to offend me? Are the boys or girls? Girls or boys?
Boys. We have pictures here.
Let's take a look at the photos. Yep. And are these fraternal twins? Identical twins?
Fraternal twins.
Now, what is the difference? What does fraternal mean?
They come in their own eggs.
They come in their own eggs. Come with their own eggs. They're ready for breakfast. Remember that? Now, how many children do you have?
We have 6 now.
6?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, you know that sort of mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Well, mad dogs and English women have 6 children.
Well, now, how the hell do you do this? How do you take care of all of these people?
Well, a lot of them come to Dr. Quinn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have the babies come out there and to work. My son comes and does homework sometimes. My daughter comes and rides horses, both daughters.
Now, these 2 are the youngest right here.
These 2 are the youngest.
Who is the oldest in the group?
James Keach is my husband. His son, Kalen Keach, who's at Boulder University in Colorado. Then we have Jenny Flynn, and who's my ex-husband's daughter, but my stepdaughter. She's 16 as of yesterday, now driving cars. Watch out. Then Katie, who's 14, and Sean, who's 10, and then, of course, Chris and John.
So they run from roughly early 20s down to half a year.
Yeah, we've got it all.
Well, good luck to you, and God bless you, and what the hell is that?
Do you think I should have some more?
I don't know, but, you know, I thought, well, this is a lot of kids, and then in addition to having a lot of kids, it got a little complicated. Ex-husbands, stepmothers, I thought, what the hell is this exactly?
Well, you know, and then, of course, we do it on Dr. Quinn, because I have the extended family there. Right. Dr. Quinn, you know, she adopted 3 children, just as having a baby next week. I didn't know if you were aware of that.
Of course, how could I not? Let's talk about Dr. Quinn. Where does it take place, Dr. Quinn?
Well, it's supposed to be Colorado Springs, but we shoot it in Agora, in the Paramount Ranch.
Oh, just on the other side of from Malibu in Los Angeles.
Yes, it's absolutely beautiful there. You know, it's a lot of wildlife, none of these sort of studio accoutrements.
Oh, we got plenty of wildlife here. Don't worry about that. There you go. We're doing all right.
I didn't see you having to, you know, stop your show for coyotes on the hill.
Yeah, but did you get a look at Mr. Head when he was out here?
Yes, I did. That was a cute segment.
Well, cute. I don't know if cute is the exact word. But the coyotes in the hills around Los Angeles are dangerous.
Well, you know, we do these very romantic and wonderful, peaceful family show type scenes, and in the middle of the scene, all of a sudden, the coyotes will catch some unfortunate domestic cat, and we have to wait until they've had the dinner.
Say goodbye to Kitty.
Yeah, say goodbye to Kitty. It's very sad, but that's what happens, you know. It's a national park, and you have mountain lions and rattlesnakes and real life.
Now, historically speaking, chronology, what is the year for Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman?
It was somewhere in the 1870s.
1870s.
Yes.
And what level of medical practice had we achieved? What was the nature of the refinement? Do you use leeches? Do you use a lot of leeches?
No, I don't approve of leeches. No, actually, I'm sort of more of a holistic doctor. I tend to veer towards the Native American remedies when in doubt.
Right.
And thank you very much.
Native Americans? Good. God bless you. Nice to have you here.
And you know, we just cut bones off when they need to be taken off.
But you know, you must know something.
No antiseptics, nothing like that.
Nothing. No, if you know anything of medicine in those days, the Dark Ages, really, as far as medicine is concerned, it was very, very, very primitive, very unpleasant. A lot of, you know, just.
Dr. Quinn kills quite a few people.
Mortality rate higher than it ought to be.
Mortality rate's rather high. It would have been a lot higher if you know, we were really telling the truth.
Now, do you have a big cliffhanger season ender for Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman?
Well, I've been pregnant for 14 months now.
Well.
So I'm going to drop that baby, but I'm not going to have the baby where everyone thinks I'm going to have the baby. I'm going to have it in the woods, and Sully's going to have to help me give birth. So it's pretty amazing.
And when is that taking place? Soon, I hope, after 14 months.
Very soon, yeah. We're going to start kind of preparing for having the baby this Saturday night, and then the following Saturday night is the second part of our season finale, and that's when I actually have the baby.
Good man.
And I
so
will
in
have
addition,
that baby.
in addition to being a 14-month gestation period, it's like a 14-day delivery.
Yes.
You're in labor for 2 weeks.
Oh
my God! Well, you got your work cut out for you. It's nice to see you again, and
Thank you.
congratulations on the new addition to the family and the success of the show.
Thanks.
Enjoy San Francisco.
Thank you.
Jane Seymour, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.